and Dr. Reina Remigio, who is my counterpart in San Mateo, will be facilitating the Zoom meeting logistics, and I'd like to thank her very much for that. She's more tech savvy than I am. We will be recording this and hopefully we'll be able to make it available in the future. I don't have that worked out yet, but just be aware that if you post anything in the chat, that will also be recorded. So we prefer you just privately text Reina at the number listed in the chat if you have any technical issues or anything else. So tomorrow you will receive a follow-up email that includes a handout of resources and exercises that have been prepared by Linda for us. There will also be links to each of the chapter's websites. For those of you who are not members of either association, but might consider joining us for the numerous educational and networking benefits that we provide to therapists in both counties. In addition, I wanted to mention that the Santa Clara chapter is sponsoring a fundraiser for a local food bank, Second Harvest Food Bank of Silicon Valley, and there will be a direct link to that webpage in the follow-up email for those of you who would consider donating to a great organization that has a greater need than ever right now. So far, we've raised over $1,000 and we still have $500 to go to meet our goals, and donations will be matched by Second Harvest up to December 25th. For anybody who would like to join the optional social connection hour at 5:15, you should have received a Zoom link in an email yesterday, or you can go to the website of either association and click on that calendar activity. So now it's my great pleasure to briefly introduce Linda Graham, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist with a private practice in Corte Madera, or actually out of her home now, like most of us. Linda is an award-winning author of several books on resilience. She has led workshops on resilience and mindful self-compassion, both throughout the United States and all over the world. So we're lucky to have her in this area and available to us. She also has an amazing website that is filled with many, many free resources, which I highly recommend you check out. I think that link will also be on the handout. And it's been a delight for me to work with her in planning this activity. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Linda to guide us today. And feel free to make yourself comfortable. You don't have to sit in front of the screen. You can close your eyes. You can lie down on your floor or in a chair, whatever is most comfortable for you. Nobody can see you because this is a webinar format. So we've really designed this as a nurturing experience for you. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Barbara. It's very much a privilege for me to be offering this hour of practice for creating more of a sense of refuge and nurturing our resilience and well-being. So welcome, everyone. We're gathering on this Zoom call this evening because it's been one hell of a year. Because of the pandemic, we've been sheltering since mid-March, restricted in who we can see in person, whether we can travel safely to visit friends and family or not. We may have experienced illness or death in our circle of friends or know people who have. We've all had to transition our clients to telehealth and help them get comfortable dealing with their most challenging and vulnerable issues on the phone or on Zoom, rather than in the safety of the in-person therapeutic container. We've had to become comfortable ourselves, engaging with clients via technology. Some of us already closing our offices or leaning into retirement. And the pandemic wasn't the only national or global catastrophe we've had to deal with this year. The reawakening of awareness of racial injustice and social inequity, the double sheltering or even being evacuated because of the wildfires here in California. Our national and state elections were a roller coaster. We've been swimming in collective anxiety and uncertainty for a very long time. And we're heading into a winter season on the calendar, a holiday season that is traditionally a time, we hope, of celebrating with family and friends. And even that may be triggering sorrow and loss for our clients and for ourselves this year. It is traditionally a time as the earth goes dormant at winter solstice, a time of the turning of the dark toward the light, to slow down and to take stock of the struggles of this year and reflect on what we might want to hope for and make real in the coming year. So I'm going to offer a series of practices that may help create a sense of refuge, a timeout, a safe space, a supportive community, bandwidth to pause and check in and regroup. Not necessarily to solve the problems that we're facing, but to create a frame of mind and heart from which we have renewed energy to begin to solve the problems. I invite you to arrive and settle in and drop down into a sense of shared safety and ease and calm quiet. Become present in your experience of these moments, resting in a sense of safety and ease in your body, settling into an awareness of presence and aliveness. And I will begin where we always begin, with breathing, because breathing is what helps restore the nervous system to its natural baseline equilibrium. You're breathing already. You may know many breath practices from yogic or contemplative traditions. Here, we're just bringing a gentle awareness to the rhythm of your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Extending the exhalation, if you wish, to bring even more relaxation or calm into your body. Breathe slowly and deeply, slightly longer on the exhales, knowing that you are nourishing your body with every breath in. And you're soothing your entire body with every breath out. And if you notice any tightness or tension in your body, breathe slowly and gently into those sensations, easing and releasing them. And as you bring a mindful awareness to your breathing, you might bring a sense of gratitude to your breathing. Grateful that you can breathe at all. Grateful for the breath of life that is keeping you alive. Another excellent breathing practice is to really extend the exhalation in a sigh. Breathing in, and breathing out, sometimes with a sound. So I'll do that again. Breathing in, a deep sigh, or several sighs, activates the calming parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, helping us to return to equilibrium. The only real challenges with sighing are remembering to and giving ourselves permission to. So you continue breathing. The fastest way we have of restoring calm and equilibrium to our nervous system is through touch. Because warm, safe touch activates the release of oxytocin. It's the brain's hormone of safety and trust, calm and connect, bonding and belonging. Oxytocin is the brain's direct and immediate antidote to the stress hormone cortisol. So of course, a warm hug with a person we feel safe to hug with is the most enjoyable way to restore that sense of safety and trust. And most of us do that naturally when we're startled or upset or fatigued by something. We reach out for a hug or a reassuring hand on the shoulder, or we want to hold someone's hand. Safe, resonant connection with another human being is what resources that sense of safety and trust. And when that isn't available in the moment, an excellent practice is hand on the heart. It's the first exercise I teach my clients. So you place your hand on your own heart center so that you can feel the warm, safe touch of your hand on your heart center. And you breathe gently and softly and deeply into the area around your heart. And if you wish, you can breathe in a sense of ease or safety or trust or goodness into your heart center. And then remember one moment, just one moment, not the whole relationship, when you felt safe and loved and cherished by another human being. This could be a partner, a child, a friend, a therapist, or a teacher. It could be a spiritual figure. And remembering a loving moment with a pet can work very well too. So as you remember this moment of feeling safe and loved and cherished, let yourself experience the feelings and sensations of that moment. Let the sensations wash through your body. And let yourself stay with these feelings for 20 or 30 seconds. Notice any deepening, a visceral sense of ease and safety. Take a moment to reflect on any deepening sense of inner well-being. When we are mindful and compassionate, hand on the heart is powerful enough to calm down a panic attack in less than a minute. So when you practice hand on the heart 5 times a day for 5 days, you will create a new neural pathway in your brain that makes it easier and easier to access that sense of well-being. You can use hand on the heart in any moment of stress or distress. It's portable equilibrium. You can also offer yourself a sense of compassion and appreciation. It is so hard being a human being, and that's true for every human being. It's true for us right now. You're doing the best you can, and you're doing a really, really good job. Take a moment to think of a moment of kindness that you've received in recent days, when someone did something thoughtful and generous and helpful to you. And let your heart expand with the realization of many kindnesses that you have received from other people and offered other people and witnessed among other people. Focus on specific moments of joy or delight that you've experienced in recent days. Enjoying a warm cup of coffee, or enjoying the smile of a child, or playing with a puppy. No matter how large or small, just let something arise that has opened your heart. And let yourself move into a sense of gratitude for any of these moments of kindness and acceptance that you can be grateful for. Because we are all clinicians and probably have been offering support to many other people who have been going through a rough time, let yourself notice any worry or distress or tension that you might be feeling, and breathe in a sense of compassion or loving kindness for yourself for carrying that worry or tension. Breathing in compassion for any place in you that needs soothing and support. We know there is suffering in human existence. We know that other people can cause themselves or us or others suffering. We want to be able to be aware of and acknowledge and accept and be with and have compassion for all the suffering in the world without being overwhelmed or immobilized by it. So this compassion with equanimity practice was developed specifically for caregivers, either professional caregivers or people caring for a family member. It's taught as a guided visualization to help us be with another person's emotional pain exactly as it is, using compassion for both of you to engage with their suffering while maintaining your own emotional equilibrium. I will teach it now as a guided meditation, but I use this practice all the time in real time as a psychotherapist when I'm sitting with my clients in their pain or in their trauma. So let yourself sit or lie down comfortably, closing your eyes if you wish. And take a few deep, relaxing breaths. Allow yourself to feel the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. And notice how your breath nourishes your body as you breathe in, and it soothes your body as you breathe out. Let your breathing find its own natural rhythm and continue feeling the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. And if you like, you could place your hand over your heart or any other place on your body where touch feels soothing as a reminder to bring not just awareness, but loving awareness to your experience and to yourself. If you become aware of any stress that you're carrying in your body, inhale fully and deeply, drawing compassion inside your body and filling every cell in your body with compassion. Let yourself be soothed by inhaling deeply and giving yourself the compassion you need when you experience discomfort. Now focus your attention on your in-breath, letting yourself enjoy the sensations of breathing in one breath after another, noticing how your in-breath nourishes every cell in your body, and then releasing your breath. And if you like, you can also carry a word or a phrase on each in-breath, such as nourishing or loving or deep ease or inner peace. You give yourself whatever you need in this moment. You can also imagine inhaling warmth or light, whatever works for you. Now bring to mind someone you would like to send warmth and kindness and care and goodwill to either someone you love or someone who is struggling and needs compassion. And visualize that person clearly in your mind. And shift your focus now to your out breath. Feel your body breathe out and send warmth and kindness and care and goodwill to this person with each exhalation. And if you like, you can add a kind word or phrase with each out breath. Soothing or ease or an image of caring and compassion. Now feel your body breathe both in and out. Breathing in for yourself and breathing out for another. Repeat a phrase like, nourishing for me, nourishing for you. Or soothing for me, or soothing for you. Or whatever words work for you. And eventually you can simply repeat, one for me, one for you. And feel the breath of kindness flowing in and flowing out. And as you maintain that rhythm, let these words gently roll through your mind. Everyone is on his or her own life journey. I'm not the cause of this person's suffering, nor is it entirely within my power to make it go away, even if I wish I could. Moments like this are difficult to bear, yet I may still try to help if I can. Still breathing in for yourself and breathing out for another. Feel the breath of kindness flowing in and flowing out. You can focus a little more on yourself or a little more on the other person, whatever you need. And then you repeat the phrases again. Everyone is on his or her own life journey. I am not the cause, or I am not the entire cause of this person's suffering, nor is it entirely within my power to make it go away, even if I wish I could. Moments like this are difficult to bear, yet I may still try to help if I can. Nourishing for me, nourishing for you. Or soothing for me, soothing for you. One for me, one for you. Kindness and compassion flowing in and flowing out. And then gently bring your awareness back to breathing in and breathing out. In this moment, in this place. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and take a moment to reflect on your experience. Notice any shifts in your feelings for yourself or for the other person. Another practice is a circle of support, and you may already have a circle of support, people you can call on in real life, in real time, to provide support and resources when there's an emergency. People you can call at 2 a.m. and they will show up. But even more readily available for most of us drawing on the support of social connection by creating an imaginary circle of support that we can access anytime for any occasion. So take a moment now to identify 2 or 3 people, or more if you wish, that when you think of them, you feel a sense of safety and trust and connection and support. And these don't even have to be people you already know or people that you see every day or even people that you would necessarily go to in a time of needed support. These are just people with whom, when you think of them and imagine being in their presence, your nervous system calms down and you feel safe and protected. Your courage to take risks comes to the fore. And imagine these 2 or 3 people or more gathered around you in a semicircle or walking with you side by side, lending you their faith and support as you enter a difficult situation. Imagine them fully present and fully supportive. You're not alone. And you can even identify a specific situation for which you would like support, and you can practice ahead of time, such as going to a supervisor to discuss a complaint, or preparing for an audit by the IRS, or telling your brother and sister-in-law you won't be joining them for the holidays this year, or confronting your teenage son about drug paraphernalia stashed in his bedroom closet. Rehearse walking into this situation with your circle of support staunchly with you. And this imagined rehearsal can actually pre-wire circuitry in the brain, making it much more likely that you will feel the support as real in the actuality of the situation. And then practice evoking this circle of support when you're in a difficult situation and you need support. Notice whether evoking this circle of support helps you feel steady, both calm and brave in the actual situation. And practice evoking this circle of support again and again. The actual people may evolve over time. But practice until this circle becomes a natural resource in your brain that you can call on anytime you need to. A very powerful way to shift from tension or tightness to more openness and relaxation and ease and calm is through movement. Any deliberate pairing of tension in the body with relaxation in the body can help shift the physiology of the body to a calmer, more relaxed state. And you can experience the sequence of this shift when you bring awareness to your hands and slowly tense your hands into a fist, and then release the tension into your open palms. And you can do that tensing and releasing a couple of times. And you practice your mindful awareness to notice any shifting in your inner state. You can experience a shift when you place a pencil between your nose and your upper lip. Makes you frown somewhat. Then you place the pencil between your teeth. That makes you smile a bit. When you practice that sequence slowly enough, you can experience and notice shifting the state of your body and your emotions. Neuroscientists can see in their scanners that smiling for even 20 seconds shifts the functioning of the brain. Progressive muscle relaxation is a practice used in mind-body medicine for 40 years. So you tense a muscle group and you count to 7. And then you release and relax those muscles for a count of 15, so that the relaxation is twice as long as the tensing. The counting focuses the mind's attention and keeps the mind from ruminating on the worries of the day. The alternating tension with relaxation can bring more ease to both body and mind. And I found this practice especially helpful in helping clients to go to sleep at night. You can notice wherever you do feel tension or contraction in your body for any reason. We often hold tension from stress or trauma or contraction from anger, in our throats if we're not speaking our truth, in our center torso, shoulders, back, heart center, and belly. And you can shift your bodily experience by shifting your awareness to a part of your body that is not feeling tense and contracted, at least for the moment. Shifting your awareness to your elbow or your big toe or your earlobe. You can notice the relative calm and ease, noticing at least the absence of tension. You can then pendulate your awareness back and forth between the places that hold tension and the places that don't, gradually bringing an ease or release to the areas of your body that do hold tension. This is the pendulation technique of somatic experiencing to help people release the tension held in trauma. I've actually been using it in the last week or so. A couple weeks ago, I broke a bone in my left shoulder. That's why my arm is in a sling. And as I'm sleeping at night, if there's any discomfort or pain still in that shoulder, I will focus my awareness on the right side of my body, my right foot, or my right knee, or my right hip, or my right elbow. And I find a place in my body that is not in so much tension. And then I can go back to the shoulder. I'm not denying what's happening, but going back to the place in my body that feels more ease and tension. And as I go back and forth 5 or 10 times, it actually does ease the pain in the shoulder, and I can relax into the rest of my body. When teaching movement practices to help clients recover both energy and calm, I teach the power pose that Amy Cuddy developed at Harvard Business School. So I would do this with a client in the room or even online, but just sort of demonstrating it a little bit here. You stand tall and erect with your feet firmly on the ground, about hip width apart. And then you lift up your chest and you lift up your head and you lift up your arms high over your head like the mountain pose Tadasana in yoga. You stay grounded in your feet and hips and in your torso, but you feel the energy of your body moving up your spine, up through your head, up through your arms toward the sky. It's getting the energy moving up the spine that is the most important part of the pose. Then I have clients practice moving back and forth between a posture of anxiety or worry or shame and the posture of the power pose, back and forth for about 5 minutes, gradually letting go of the posture of worry and remaining in the posture of power and strength and courage. And then I ask them to practice the power pose in the moments before they enter any challenging situations, which these days may be going to the grocery store. They find a quiet, private place where they can let themselves feel the anxiety or worry in their body that they want to shift, to feel it gently, not to overwhelm. And then they move into the power pose. And then they walked mindfully into that situation with more inner strength and energy. And with frequent practice, the power pose becomes a natural way to develop and tap into our inner strength and courage and resilience. We do practice our own mindful awareness as an essential practice for being able to face and deal with anything that might be disturbing or challenging for us in these approaching holiday or holy day times at any time. Thich Nhat Hanh says, to meditate means to go home to yourself. Then you know how to take care of the things that are happening inside you, and you know how to take care of the things that are happening around you. So a very powerful practice, an immediately helpful practice of mindful awareness, is to change every should to a could. Because we all have unconscious patterns in our language that filter how we perceive our experiences and thus shape how we respond to them. Should is one of them, and I have to is another. You can react to those unconscious messages quite unconsciously, automatically. Should and have to imply obligation, duty, even right or wrong, and the mind contracts. Should creates an unconscious expectation or command for performance and sets us up for criticism if we fail to perform. Could creates an unconscious perception of possibility and sets us up for pride in our learning and growth. Changing every should to a could opens up possibilities and choice, and thus strengthens our response flexibility. Shifting I have to I get to similarly shifts your thinking from burden to privilege and strengthens your resilience. Without making change every should to a could, another should, remind yourself fairly regularly that could is a possibility. And whenever you hear yourself shoulding on yourself, repeat the phrase, change every should to a could, and notice any shifts in your thinking. Likewise, whenever you hear yourself say, I have to, which could be a lot, practice saying, I get to instead. Gratitude for the privilege of being alive and having the opportunity. Notice any shifts in your responses to what's happening and your reactions to it. I could clean out the garage by this weekend. I get to make breakfast for the kids every morning this week. So noticing how you talk to yourself and choosing to change how you talk to yourself shifts how you relate to yourself and can create wise shifts in your behavior. So this one practice of shifting your self-talk can have some of the biggest effects on your resilience. And when we change every should to a could, we've taken an important step in honoring our own humanity and the humanity of other people. There is imperfection and room for improvement in all of us, but there is also possibility and moving toward perfection in all of us. And when we can let go of shoulding on ourselves or on other people, when we can let go of shame and blame and move toward allowing and accepting, we move toward honoring. That honoring is at the heart of the wisdom traditions that these practices of mindfulness and compassion come from. A legacy of 2,600 years of contemplative practice that prepares us to cope more wisely and skillfully with any of the sorrows and struggles that we are faced with. Now I want to review very briefly 5 factors that we draw on, that we practice when we're wanting to move from any difficulty, any disappointment, even any disaster, into more possibility, more opportunity, more resilience, more learning and growth, using whatever has happened as a cue to transform our experience into learning and growth. And the 5 elements, I'll go over them in a minute. Acceptance of what has happened, positive resourcing with people, positive resourcing with positive emotions, finding the silver lining, and then developing a coherent narrative of whatever it is that we're trying to deal with. So The first, mindful acceptance of whatever has happened and the consequences of whatever has happened, is considered the first step. It's an essential first step. And I can sort of illustrate that with when I tripped in my garden and fell and broke the bone in my shoulder. Right away. Oh, this happened. I have to go to the emergency room. Just focusing on this happened. And there's consequences. There's things I have to do. And of course, there were more consequences afterwards. Resourcing, William James, who is considered the founder of American psychology, says, be willing to have it so. Accepting the circumstances of our misfortune is the first step toward overcoming any misfortune. The second step, and mindfulness and self-compassion can be very, very helpful here in acknowledging what has happened and preparing ourselves for the consequences of what has happened. The second step is resourcing with people. And here what is meant is people who can be compassionate companions, people who can be very understanding and accepting of what has happened, but who don't need you to do anything particularly or be in a certain way or progress at a certain pace. They simply can allow and accept the reality with you of what has happened. And in this case, I was with a friend who could literally pick me bodily up off the ground and drive me in my car to the ER, and then calling, of course, neighbors and friends and family to show up and help me out. The third step is resourcing with positive emotions, and that is not a bypass. That is not to diminish the anguish or the pain or the angst of what we're going through. But 25 years of neuroscience research now and 25 years of research in the behavioral sciences are dovetailing nicely to demonstrate very powerfully how cultivating positive emotions shifts the functioning of the brain. It shifts the functioning of the brain out of contraction and reactivity and negativity into more possibility, more realistic optimism, more learning and growth. And the direct and measurable cause and effect outcome of practicing a positive emotion is resilience. So I've had a lot of training at this point in gratitude. And the first thing that happened when I broke my shoulder, thank God it's my left shoulder. And I'll still be able to use my right hand to cook and do the dishes and write on the computer and use the phone. And then all the way to the hospital, grateful that my friend was right there, grateful that I belonged to Kaiser. My copay was all of $90. Grateful that I know people will show up to take me to the grocery store, to take me to the bank, whatever I need to do if I can't drive. So practicing gratitude, I began to tell my friends that I was taking my pain medication to stay ahead of the pain and practicing gratitude to stay ahead of the misery. So that gratitude practice has been a remarkable help in the last couple of weeks. The fourth step is finding the silver lining, finding what's right with this wrong. What's the gift of this mistake? What's the teachable moment in this regrettable moment? And so I had actually on my own just begun a sabbatical sort of, where I could spend more time doing the reading and research that I need to do to create an online course in the spring. And so now I'm home with people taking care of me and slowing down so that I actually have time to do the reading and the research and the thinking. Not that I would have asked for this, but I can turn it into the silver lining. And then the fifth step is writing the coherent narrative about whatever has happened. So there's a before, and then this event happened, and there will be an after. And part of the coherent narrative is remembering how much I had enjoyed my Thanksgiving of dinners with friends and hikes with friends and swimming in the pool at the JCC and going for hikes in Loma Alta and being able to be very richly in a full life. And then this happens and my life slows down and it changes. And there will be a time again when I'll be able to hike the ridge trails and type with both hands and be able to swim in the pool again. So those are 5 steps that we use to cope with anything that is difficult or challenging or catastrophic. and being able to develop a resilience mindset about it. So now I'm going to close, and I understand that we're closing a few minutes early, but I hope this has been a time of slowing down and going inside and finding ease and relaxation, coming to a sense of acceptance and being within compassion and nurturing ourselves so that we can meet whatever is coming with these holidays and with the new year with more of a sense of resilience and nurturing. And I will close with this poem, When This Is Over, which was, it went viral on the internet shortly after the shutdown of the pandemic, but I think it's still very relevant and very true today. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, a taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, a boring Tuesday, each deep breath, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hope to be. May we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. Be well, stay safe, and take very good care.
Linda, thank you so much for this offering. Yeah, and thank you to everybody for attending. Please enjoy safe, fun, and restorative holidays, and we will see everyone in the new year. Take good care all.